In Italy, Romans used to be around, but things changed and now they aren't. The people who lived in the area where Rome's farmers lived are now called Italians. When did this change take place? When did Romans start living in Italy? And why isn't Italy called Romania since Romans lived there? Now, the answer to that question is what you think of when you hear the word Roman. Is it someone who lives in the Roman Empire, calls themselves a Roman, speaks Latin, or stays true to the values of the Roman Empire? If you were living in the Roman Empire, it ended for people in what is now Italy around the year 476. So even though they were part of the First Italian Kingdom, they still had a Roman Senate, spoke Latin, and were officially a client state of what was left of the Roman Empire in the East. Many of the people who still lived there thought they were Romans. Odoacer, a ruler of Italy, said that he was king of both the Romans and the Goths. Most of Odoacer's successors used the same words, but it wasn't long before Emperor Justinian and his trusted general Belisarius came to Italy on behalf of Constantinople and took it back. They kept it for a few days, but then the Lombards came along and took over some and then a lot of Italy. Importantly, the Eastern Roman Empire still controlled some land there, which led to the long-lasting political divisions of the Italian peninsula. But in the places where the Lombards were in charge, the Roman Empire's institutions, such as the Senate, were thrown out, and an old-fashioned absolute feudal monarchy began. Even so, Rome was still admired and Roman law was still the most important. After this, things took a long time to change. Even though they only made up about 5% of Italy's population, the Lombards ruled most of the country for more than 200 years. Soon, the kings of Italy stopped calling their people Romans and started calling them Lombards. At first, Roman law and Germanic law were both used. Germanic law became the most important. In some parts of Byzantium, Greek became the language of government, but the people there still thought of themselves as Roman. There were some differences too. When religious zeal led to iconoclasm, the destruction of religious images across the empire, the Romans who lived in Italy didn't care. When the Franks came in the 8th century and took over most of the peninsula, most people outside of it did not think the people who lived there were Romans. Latin was still the main language of the area, but over the next 400 years, it changed slowly into medieval Italian. So now that Rome is done and its identity is gone, when did the people of Italy start to call themselves Italians? Well, political lines split up regional identities. Venetians, Florentines, and Neapolitans, of course, and Romans, but only in the sense that they live in and around Rome and are not citizens of the Roman Empire. People who lived in Italy didn't start to think of themselves as Italians in a deeper way until the Renaissance. This process moved very slowly at first, but after the xenophobic wars, it picked up speed. This is when the people who lived on the Italian peninsula got tired of having foreign powers rule over them and fight their wars there. As a result, writers and activists started to define what an Italian was and how to build them a nation. Even after Italy was created, many people who still live there saw themselves first and foremost as being from the region where they were born. However, most people who lived on the Italian peninsula saw themselves as Italians, not Romans anymore, but their successors and keepers of their history. That wraps up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay notified about our uploads. I'll see you next time. Till then, peace out.